Hello, my name is Dr. Jodi Rowley and I'm the Curator of Amphibian and Reptile Conservation Biology at the Australian Museum and University of New South Wales. Now, I was 18 years old when I first ventured into a wetland like the one behind me and first really saw and fell in love with frogs. And since then, my research focus and pretty much everything I do has been trying to get the information that we need to know how many species we have, how they're doing, and then hopefully what we need to do to ensure that frogs, which are some of the most threatened animals on Earth, are around for future generations. I'm also the Chief Scientist of Frog ID, which is a national citizen science project aimed at helping get that information, and it's all based around a free app for your smartphone. And in less than 3 years, we together, Australia, has managed to get almost 200,000 records of frogs across Australia, which has revolutionised our understanding of frogs. So that is pretty amazing. And today I have some questions that I will be answering about frogs, thanks to everybody that has submitted the questions. And the first question I have is Barry from Twitter has asked, how many frog and toad species do we have in Australia and how many are endangered? In Australia, we have 240 native species of frog, although there are frog species that yet to have a scientific name, so they haven't been formally described to science, so it's likely to go up in the future. And unfortunately, we have one toad, the cane toad, and that's been introduced. It's the only member of the toad family that we have in Australia. Unfortunately, we have lost at least 4 species of frog to extinction, and another 37 species are listed as threatened. Now, my second question is from Robert from Twitter, which is a great one. Is the presence of frogs an indicator of a healthy environment, or are they tolerant to pollution? Now, in general, frogs are an excellent indicator of environmental health, and if you've got really good frog populations, particularly of many different species, it's typically a fantastic indicator that you've got a really healthy ecosystem around you. Most species are incredibly sensitive to any kind of environmental change, pollution, anything like that. Although there are a few, like the guys behind me that you hear, the common eastern froglet, that are actually quite adaptable. So some species are extra tough, but most are very, very sensitive. Now from Kate from Facebook, she says, I live in far north Queensland and had a healthy green tree frog population in my house and garden, but now I just seem to have cane toads and a few frogs. How can I restore the balance and have more lovely green tree frogs? Well, it is all about tipping the balance, and tree frogs in particular have a fantastic adaptation that allows you to create habitat for them. So each species of frog has a different kind of habitat preferences, places they like to breed and places they'll hang out. Tree frogs have toe pads that allow them to climb, and cane toads don't. They're just sort of normal fingers like us. So if you're able to build them habitat that they can get in, but the cane toads can't get in, that's wonderful. So if you've got maybe an elevated bit of water, if you have an old bathtub that you can put out that native tree frogs can get in and cane toads can't, that will help tip the balance. And if you can create frog hotels even by sticking PVC pipes into the ground and giving your tree frogs a safe place to shelter during the day, then that's really fantastic. My last question is from Jaden from Facebook, who asks, I can usually hear frogs on my nighttime walks, but I rarely see them. Where do they hang out? What kind of conditions are the best for finding frogs? Well, Jaden's right. Frogs are often much easier to hear than they are to see. So the little frog species that are calling behind me sometimes are about 2 centimetres big, and I don't know that I would actually ever be able to find them. So the calls are the best way to figure out what frog species you have around them. Most frog species call at night, mostly near some kind of water, and usually after rain is fantastic for hearing and maybe, if you're lucky, seeing frogs. But each species of frog has a different kind of preference for what time of year, what kind of habitat, and so if you go out on your regular walks by a wetland, you'll notice as the seasons change, so do the frogs, and if you go to a pond, you'll hear different frog species to a stream. So I would like to thank everybody for all their questions about frogs. I love talking about frogs, so this is a fantastic opportunity. And while you're at home, and just in general, if you can download the Frog ID app and contribute to our understanding of Australia's frogs, it would be absolutely amazing, because together we can help get the information that we need to make sure that we don't lose any more of Australia's amazing frog species. Thank you.